I'm going to see from my end. I got some news I want to share with you guys. For those of you who are registered to receive emails from me, you shouldn't have gotten an email about 30 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. Okay, let's see here. All right. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to come in. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to give you guys the news, and then I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to answer questions that are unrelated to the news. So I'm going to do probably 5 to 10 questions. So if you got any questions about anything, make sure that you get it together while I'm doing the news. So afterwards, you don't have me, you're not trying to get me to stay on because you're trying to type something out really long. I'm going to give it, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and start the news right now. And then a lot of people have to catch the replay, or some people will come in. Thank you. So here's the news. I'm really excited about it. I've talked to you guys about it before. Again, I'm going to give you the news, and then I'm going to do a few questions about anything about life or what have you. So here's the news. I've talked to you guys before about Life University. Life University is a classroom. It is a personal classroom that I created. Right now it has a total of 15 messages in it. It's going to have a total of 24 messages in it. And Life University is all about changing your life. Life University is about helping you to die to yourself. It's about changing your paradigm. It's about changing your life. I believe that if we can change our lives, if we can change our minds, we change our perspective. If we change our perspective, that simultaneously changes our lives. And so that's what Life University is about. Life University has different classes. Let me make sure that I give you guys the right ones, so that for those of you who have not registered, before we get there, let me say congratulations to everybody who has registered. I'm really excited about it. You know, when I initially launched it, the day that I sent the email out, I think I had 2 registrations that day. I was like, okay, what's wrong with God's people? They're not registering. Well, the next day you guys start showing out. I was like, okay, they got the email pretty late or what have you, so I get it. I was a little concerned there for a minute. I was like, the people of God ain't trying to register for Life University? Something, you know, a lot of times people reach out to me and they're talking about, I want to change my life. I'm tired of going through these systems and cycles. And so that's what Life University is. Life University, there is silver access. Silver access gives you access to 24 messages. Silver access gives you access to 24 audio messages that I pre-recorded, and that one is $19.95. That's all you get in that. So that is 2 years worth of messages for $19.95. I'll read those messages out to you guys shortly. The gold access gives you access to, let me see. Yeah, thank God I got it written down. The gold access is $49.99, and it gives you access to all the audio messages plus the message board. We're going to have a message board where we'll be communicating, and then it gives you access to 1 premium conference. Let me mention the conferences to you. We're going to have 3 conferences. There's Marriage Prep University 2019. There's Soul Management, and so we don't know the name of that right now, but that's going to be about managing your soul. Then I have one for business and entrepreneurs, and writers and what have you. We're going to have those 3 conferences, so you'll get a chance to choose one of those 3 conferences if you get gold access. Next, there's platinum access. Platinum access gives you access to everything I've mentioned, which includes the access to all 24 audio messages, access to the message board, and you get 2 premium conferences plus all night access to the slumber party. All night access to the slumber party. If you've never been to one of our slumber parties, it's a virtual slumber party where we generally come on the line anywhere between 9 and 10 p.m. and we sit up and we just talk. We talk about just about everything that night. We get really raw. We just talk about life. It's amazing. So that is platinum access. That's $99. There's diamond access. And let me stop and mention this. It gives you access for a total of 12 months. You get 1 year's worth of access. 1 year's worth of access to this. Diamond access gives you everything I've mentioned above. Plus, you get access to all 3 conferences and a one-on-one conference call with me. That's for 1 hour. a one-on-one conference call with me for 1 hour, that one is $199. That one's a steal. All of them are a steal, but that one's a really good deal. And then so there's marriage. The conference is a Marriage Prep University, soul management and business. Now, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, because it was something. It's a conversation I've been having with a few of my friends lately. I feel like we really need to talk about something that is prominent in the African American community, or even just amongst women. I was sitting there racking my brain today because I'm thinking about some conversations some friends of mine and myself we've had about how hard it is, for example, for us. Like, I had a friend to tell me, I really don't fool with black women like that. And we started talking about that, and I was like, yeah, I've heard that said a lot. And I know a lot of times, me, when I get around people, I'm really quiet. I don't say anything when I observe them. And when I see their personality, I determine whether or not I want to be around them. And so we talked about that, and I thought it was some really interesting points that came out. But for the most part, every time I've heard a woman say that is because she's been attacked by multiple African American women, or multiple women. She's been attacked, like in the workplace, when she was going to school, just about in her community, sometimes even in her church, and just about everywhere she's gone, she's dealt with competition. She's dealt with being lied on. She's dealt with having somebody going after her guy. It's just been a lot of different things. And so I want to bring a group of women together, and I'm adding this as a bonus to Life University. And this is going to be for those, and it's going to be a bonus. And I'm thinking I'm going to add this for platinum and platinum registrants and maybe gold registrants and up. We'll see. But platinum registrants and up. So far, I'll say platinum registrants and up. I may do it for gold. I'm not certain yet. I think that's a lot. I want to really just, I think it's just going to be for platinum registrants and up. Of course, though, you can get into that particular part individually. So this is what I'm planning to do. And I would love to hear back from you guys. What I'm planning to do is I want to do a table discussion. I'm going to bring about 3 women together, including myself. It'll probably be myself and 2 other women, or myself and 3 other women, or myself and 4 other women. I want to bring a group of women together, and I want us to discuss that. I want us to talk about our experiences as women, not just as African American women. Prayerfully, I can, I can reach out to somebody who is non-African American and see if they'll be willing to come on or what have you. But I want to discuss our issues as women. I want to talk about some of the things we've experienced, and I want us to come up with a conclusion to the matter. I know that we're not going to solve that problem in a day, but I believe that we can have all the solutions in that video. It may end up being a single video. It may end up being a series, depending on how long we discuss it, or how much content that we have to bring to the table. But I believe that we've seen these things discussed before. We've seen people come together and talk about what we can do. But I believe the reason that it hasn't made, or those discussions haven't made that great of an impact, is because for the most part, people are giving general answers rather than giving condensed answers. And what I mean by that is people are sitting back saying, okay, we need to heal. People need to go and heal, but we're not giving people the tools or the resources to go somewhere and heal. We're not giving people the information that they need. And so I want to break it down on the natural plane, and I also want to break this thing down spiritually, because guess what? The Bible says that we don't war against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and the rulers of this dark world and spiritual wickedness in high places. I want to deal with this thing on a spiritual plane. So I want to bring I want to bring some women together to just sit down, and I'm not talking about just people who, I'm not bringing yes people together. I'm bringing people together who, and I think I'm just bringing people together who can explain from an objective point of view, like what their experience is. I want to hear it from all different planes and all different dimensions. I want to hear women talking about, okay, what is your experience as a black woman? Like, for example, the workplace. I think that's the most common thing that I hear. The workplace. Women are dealing with being attacked especially if they have a boss who happens to be competitive or what have you. What do we do in situations like that? I believe that this table conversation is going to solve that problem. It's going to solve it. I mean, when I say solve it, I'm not talking about it's going to go away. I'm talking about all the tools, information, and resources are going to be available in that single video or that series, whichever one it turns out to be. I believe that we're going to come sit down and have a powerful, much needed conversation. Like I said, this comes from some conversations I've had with my friends, and we brought out pointers that I thought, this needs to be on video. We need to talk about this type of stuff on video because there are people who need to hear this stuff. There are people who need to hear this, and I want to say this. I want everybody to be a part of this, as many people as possible. I really want the brothers to come out and listen to this as well. I really want men, and this isn't an African American thing. I think it's a woman thing, but I think it's more prominent in minority cultures. It's more prominent where we see a lot of division and a lot of competition. And a lot of times, the reason I say I want the guys to come on is because a lot of times men don't necessarily see it. Women, we see it, but men don't necessarily see it. And so I want to deal with the spiritual side of this thing. I want to talk about how this is affecting us, and I want to try to heal people one individual at a time. So with that being said, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you. For those of you who say, hey, listen, I had an experience, I would love for you to shoot me an email. If you got a question, shoot me a question, and we will answer those questions live on video. Of course, obviously, we won't be able to answer everybody's question. Some questions may not be, some questions may be repeat questions that somebody else had or what have you, or some questions may just be silly. So we may not be able to answer everybody's question, but send in your questions. And if you want us to answer, try to send in about 2 questions, no more than 2 questions, because I don't want it to turn out to be one person asking 15 questions or what have you. But I want you to send in your questions for the panel, and so that we can discuss that. We can sit down and we can talk about that. We can talk about, like what you talk about your experience. I would love to hear your testimony as well. I would love to hear your testimony. So if you want to create a video and you want to share your experience in a video, send it to me. Send it to me. Now, I'm planning to bring the people together and do this discussion next week. And the reason for that, because it's fresh on me. That thing is fresh on me right now. It's fresh on me right now. Like, I really want to deal with this right now. I really, like, if I could do it today, I really like to deal with this right now. I really like to hit that devil in his throat and cut off his head right now. I'm ready to cut that thing down. But it's going to be a part of Life University. If you don't know, I think Life University starts on July 28th. We got about 13 more days left, or it's July 25th, one or the other. I'll double check. But Life University, I talked about, you got the different levels. I'll go back over them again. If you are platinum and up, you will have free access to this table conversation. If you are platinum registrant or up, you will have free access. I'm thinking gold access, I may give you guys a discount. If you got gold access and silver access, you'll have to pay full price for it. And again, this is because I want to show appreciation for those of you who want to take it up different levels. I don't want to make it where I'm giving away $200,000 worth of stuff for 50 cents, because I'm not helping people by doing that. So I want to make sure that I'm gonna everybody who has platinum registration and up, you will have access to the table conversation. You will be able to get the video or what have you. For those of you who have a question or you want to submit a question in, do so. If you want to submit a video in, do so. Make sure your video is no longer than maybe 2 minutes long. Make sure it's to the point, no profanity. And listen, I cannot use your video if it's blurry. If you got a beat up, battered old camera, I'm sorry guys. I am a creature of excellence. So I don't want nothing that's where we can barely hear and we're having to turn it up and all this other stuff. So if you got something to say, something that you feel like is powerful, but you don't have a really good camera, maybe you can reach out to a friend of yours who has a good camera and say, hey, could you come over to my house? I would really love to use the camera on your phone. So with that being said, again, I want to read these through, then I'm going to come to your questions. For those of you who have questions about anything in life, so make sure you're getting your questions together. It don't have to be about Life University. It doesn't have to be about this. I'm planning to do this as a part of Life University, and I want to release it in late July or early August. Like, I want people to have access to it as soon as they get to Life University, because I want to open it up for discussion. Once we post up the video, I want to open it up for discussion. I don't want it just to be in the classroom. I'm gonna post it up. Well, it will be in the classroom, but I want to post it up on the message board for those of you who have access. You will have, if you got gold access to higher, you'll have access to the message board. But I want to hear you guys' feedback on the message board, and what your take on it, and maybe we'll come together and do another discussion on it. But I do believe that if we come together as women and we discuss that, I believe that we can. We can't necessarily pull down that demon, but I do believe we can do some damage to the kingdom of darkness. I really believe that with my whole heart. So that's the thing that I want to do. I want to come out and I want to talk about solutions. I don't want to necessarily talk about the problems that we see. I want to talk about solutions. What do you think could be done to help to mend our sisters? Because obviously it's so much deeper than just how we treat one another. It goes so much more deep than that. So with that being said, I'm going to read Life University's information again, and I'm going to send this to you guys. I'm going to make sure I post a link for those of you who want to register. Be sure to register. I'm going to post that up in the comments. In the chat. That's the registration for Life University. Price is going to go back up in about 20 minutes to regular price. We had a weekend sale. You guys knew about an early bird sale, but the prices are going to go back up to regular price in 15 minutes. Is still a big deal. So silver access is going to be $19.99. That gives you access to the message board and 24 audio messages. That does not give you access, and I've already mentioned that, but I want to reiterate that does not give you access to the discussion that we're going to come together and have. It doesn't give you access to that. Life University Gold gives you access to all the audio messages and the message board, because then what we're going to be doing for the Gold registrant is we're going to be talking about some of the messages, coming to the message board, discussing our issues, discussing things that we've gone through, and then access to one of the premium conferences. Again, the premium conferences are Marriage Prep University 2019, Soul Management, where we talk about how to manage the mind. Let me stop there. I'm excited about this class. The soul management. I'm excited about Marriage Prep University. It's always great, but I'm really excited about soul management. And the reason I'm excited about that is because God taught me to break myself down to a molecule. God's been teaching me how to heal by breaking myself down. He's been teaching me how to manage my mind. He's been doing this over a course of several years, where how to manage my thoughts, how to manage my mind. And I compare it to a junk drawer. If you open up a junk drawer, you'll find treasures in it. You'll find all kinds of stuff. You'll find treasure and you'll find trash. So soul management is going to be about helping you to sort through that drawer. It's helping you to get everything out and organize your life. I believe there's no person that comes to that class that's going to ever be the same. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. So if you don't get nothing else, make sure you get in soul management. And then we're going to have a business entrepreneur writers class. Again, the conference or the access for that is just going to be like 3 classes. So I don't want you guys to think that's a replacement for Remnant Writers, because it's not. It's going to be a total of 3 classes where I'm going to give you the tools to write your book. I'm going to answer your questions, and I'm going to motivate you to get that book out of you, for those of you who want to take that. So those are the 3 classes. Then you have Life University Gold, which is what I just got through mentoring. You'll have access to 1 premium conference, all the audio messages and the message board. That'll be $49.99. Then you have Platinum, you get everything plus access to 2 conferences, either Marriage Prep, Soul Management, and Entrepreneur Writers class, and access to and then all-night slumber party. We're going to have an all-night slumber party. Diamond, and that was $79.99. That's Platinum is $99.99. Platinum is $99.99, and then Diamond is $199. You get everything that I mentioned above, plus you get access to all the conferences, a one-on-one conference call with me, where I'm going to talk to you for a total of 1 hour, and I just want to hear about your life, what you're going through, and help you to and give you a plan, help to develop some tools and stuff like that. And of course, I'll be checking back with you so that you can better your life. These are the things I want you guys to hear. I'm pushing this thing hard because I really want to help people to change their lives. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm planning to sit down and do that recording as of next week. So if you have a recording, if you have a message that you would like to share, like your experience or what you think can be done, send it. Now, let me say this is an obvious thing, but I think sometimes people need to hear it. Just because you send a video in doesn't necessarily mean we're going to use it. I'm going to look at it and consider it. If it's good, if it's clear, and you're making good points, then yes, definitely I'll probably integrate it into the video. So I want it to be clear, guys. I don't want you guys to send anything blurry. So with that being said, I need y'all to register for Life University. Life University. I get people who inbox me all the time who are going through issues. And this is another thing I want to deal with before I get into the questions. I don't understand why we have this mentality where we want to deal with the problem. Like, I remember old friend of mine used to say this. We've heard it said before, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of what is that? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, or what have you. So I don't know why we don't think along the lines of preventative care. We think along the lines of we're more reactive than we are preventative. Like we'll sit up there, and if we get sick from eating wrong, then we like to react, but we don't necessarily like to prevent ourselves from getting sick by eating right, if that makes sense. So that's one of the issues that I think that a lot of us have, is that when you're seeing stuff like Life University, which has the power to help you to avert problems, has the power to help you from falling into some of the traps and to avoiding some of the snares that you're going to find in the many seasons you're going to go through. Rather than getting the information, we prefer to be reactive versus preventative. I don't understand that mindset. We like to wait until things are breaking down in our lives before we start saying, hey, I need help with this. Listen, I'm just trying to give you guys some advice. Get information beforehand. Information beforehand. Preventative care is way more effective than reactive care. So with that being said, I'm not going to hold you guys back up. I want to open up for your questions. They don't have to be related to Life University. They can be related. Oh, let me say this. The 3 classes, Marriage Prep University, Soul Management course, the Business Writers class, and the 101, the woman to woman conference that we're going to do, or a video that we're going to do. They are sold individually in Life University under the registrant form. So if you decide that you don't want to be a student, but you want to take one of those, you can register for those individually. I'll be updating the form as soon as I get off of here, and I'll be putting the woman to woman up there as well. I'll be adding that individually. For those of you who say, well, I just want access to that, more than likely that'll be about $29 depending. That'll be about $29 depending on what we're going to be doing, whether it's going to be an individual video or it's going to be a series. So with that being said, make sure you go to the link. I posted it up in the information section or in the chat section. Make sure that you're registering. I'll post it in the comments as well. Did you guys have any questions about that, or did you have questions about life in general? Is there a registration deadline? I think the class starts. Let me see when the class starts. The deadline is, I don't think we necessarily have a deadline. We have a 100 student maximum. I'm glad you said that, because we have a 100 student maximum, and I think we got about 20 or close to 30 student registrants already. We have a 100 student maximum, so it's just basically once we get 100 students in. Let me see if I got the date on here. I know it's July 25th or July 28th, so it's really just based on once we get a full classroom. Give me a second. While I'm looking over here, you guys can be typing out any questions you have. Don't try to type out your life, guys. We have people missing the questions so many times because they be trying to type out their whole life issue. Let's see here. That was Monday. Nah, I need to go before that. Oh, maybe other. I'm giving you guys a chance to get your question in while I look for this email I sent out with the date in it. Okay. I think it's on the other video. Let me see. Maybe I can. Okay, so I think it's July 29th because that's a Monday. I think we listed it for July 29th. Keep in mind, classes are virtual. They're online for those of you who are not local, so don't worry about that. So you'll be able to come online and call in and hear. So I want to answer questions. I know God is a restorer of time, but how do I tell my mind and heart that when I'm 37 and want to be married with additional children someday? It's just building a relationship with him. You have to occupy your mind. The mind has a lot of space in it because the way God created the mind, it's like unlimited spacing. But a lot of times what we do is we fill it with junk. It's kind of like someone in a third world country. If the child is starving, you'll notice that the stomach begins to fill with air. So you look at this little boy, they do these commercials, and this little boy or this little girl is on the television set, and their stomach is swollen, and you're just like, oh my gosh, look like you've been eating, but they haven't. That's just air that's filling the stomach. That's a product of starvation. And the mind is very similar to that. Whenever you don't have information in the mind, you're going to fill it up with things that shouldn't be there. And so you'll fill it up with doubt, worry, fear, confusion. So what you have to do is you have to occupy the space in your mind. You have to occupy it with, are you writing a book? Are you starting a business? Are you going to school? Like, you have to go serve outside of yourself. Because if you keep serving yourself, then you're going to have a misunderstanding of marriage, and God will make you wait a lot longer than you should have to wait, because you have a misunderstanding of what it means to be in a relationship. I found that coming outside of myself, even doing these conferences and stuff like that, they keep me busy. So I'm not pressed for a man. I was talking to a friend. I just came back from I Do Marriage Retreat. I'm clapping because I'm excited about it. We had a great time. One of my closest friends came down there as well. She was a part of the retreat, and I met an awesome girl there. But we were talking about that, and I noticed, she's in no rush to be in a relationship. I think she's just like most Christian women. I would love for my husband to come. Can't wait for my husband to come, but she's in no rush, and that's because she's busy. And I think a lot of times one of the reasons why it's so hard to wait is because we're not busy. We go to work, we come home, we spank the kids, and that's it. But we're not necessarily busy. So we have too much time to think. We have too much time to worry. We have too much time to doubt God. So you need to fill in those spaces in your life. You need to study the word, build your relationship with God, build on your trust with God, because he said that if we don't trust him, we don't have faith. We cannot please God without faith. It is impossible to please God. So you want to build on your relationship with him. You want to get to that point with him where you feel satisfied. It's typically when you feel satisfied that he sends the mate. Is when you feel satisfied with him, because if not, then the other person can easily become a god in your life if he allows a man to come in. And so you're looking at your biological clock, you're looking at your age, you're looking at all these different things, and so you'll hurry up and get somebody to fill that space. That space is called fear. That's the name of that particular space, is called fear. When God wants you to fill that space with faith, he wants you to come in and kick it out. He wants us to fill that space with faith. So what you need to do in this time is stop worrying about your biological clock. Look for testimonies of people who have had babies well into their 40s. God had somebody to reach out to me when I was 38 years old, and she said, I don't know why God wants me to tell you this, but she said, I didn't have my first child till I was 42. And I was like, I know why he wants you to tell me that, because I was 38. And of course I was sitting there like, yeah, the window's closing, Lord, and I'm kind of like single, so when you gonna send a man of God? And yeah. And so I'm 41. I'm turning 42 years old next month, August 13th, guys. My birthday, August 13th. But I'm turning 42 years old next month, and yeah, that's concerning. Even makes you mad at the man of God. If you think about it, I was mad at that joke when I was 38 years old. I was like, nobody got time to be sitting there waiting on you to get your life together, and then I missed my window because you out there acting stupid. So that was the way I thought then, but I came to realize that God has a plan. It's about getting me ready. It's about getting him ready. God is like, the limitations of your body are not my limitations. So don't worry about that. I got you covered on that end. All you have to do is just obey me. Get in position. Get your multitude of counselors. Get some wisdom. Get more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Study God. Spend time with him. Occupy that space until you're full. When you're full in your content, trust me, you won't even think like that. When you're full in your content, your mind changes. How not to take things personally. I think it depends on what you're talking about. Like on a broader perspective, like Like, what do you mean how not to take things personally? Like, if somebody offends you, the way that you remember is that your war is not against flesh and blood, but against powers, against principalities, against the rulers of this dark world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Meaning, when you see skin and teeth, your fight is not with the person. Your fight is with the spirit in the person, or it could be the spirit in ourselves. But your fight is not what you see in front of you. And you have to constantly remind yourself of that, because we walk by faith, or we're supposed to walk by faith, but not by sight. But when we're babes and as we begin to grow in Christ, when we're still kind of young in the faith, we constantly see flesh. We see teeth. I remember when I was going through some stuff and I was married, and my ex's relative was just really coming against our marriage with everything in her, and I could not understand for the life of me, like, why she just wouldn't leave us alone. I wasn't talking about her. I wasn't bothering her. And she was just hard pressed on me, obsessed with me even. And I was like, she's calling him every day. And I got to a point where, I figured it was years of that. I figured, has she not got it yet? Because obviously we still together. So has she not gotten it yet? Her craziness has not affected me. It hasn't affected my marriage. But lo and behold, it had. And the Lord dealt with me. He said, because I said it to my ex. I said it in a boastful way. I was like, why your sister keep getting in our business? I was like, why your sister keep on doing this? Why she keep doing it? I said, do she not see? It's not like she gonna ruin our marriage or what have you. I said that in a boastful way because I was feeling confident in that moment. And the Lord hit me right then and there. He was like, the enemy basically has already done what he wanted to do. See, I was too busy defending one end that I left the other end of my heart open. See, the enemy came and he distracted me over here. I'm over here trying to defend my marriage, and I forgot to defend my heart. The Bible says, guard your heart, for out of it pours the issues of life. I was trying to defend my marriage, I forgot to guard my heart. So the enemy crept in, and I ended up dealing with unforgiveness. I ended up hating that woman, and I didn't even realize it. And the Lord told me that moment. He said, you are in for unforgiveness. I ended up hating that woman. And so I began to repent, and it was a process of having that, it's like a poison, having that squeeze up out of me. And I had to admit that I was there in order to get that healing. But it's like a poison. He had to take me through a process of healing. So I had to stop focusing on what she was doing. I had to stop focusing on her intentions. I had to stop focusing on the damage I felt like she was doing. And I had to just start focusing on Christ. And I had to focus on, just my own healing. I had to just I had to come to the understanding that she can only do what he allowed her to do. So I say this to you. Everybody don't have access to you. And you are responsible for the people who do have access. So, in a lot of times when you're dealing with people, if you give the wrong people access, but then you complain about them, then it's kind of like, I don't like what they're doing, but I'm still going to keep talking to them. Now, I know in some cases you have no choice but to deal with people. For example, in the workplace. In the workplace, we have no choice but to, talk to people, and we have to deal with their issues. So you can use that as practice. Use it as practice for where God is taking you. Because if God is going to promote you, he's going to give you some level of visibility, a platform one day. If he's going to use you mightily, or if he's going to use your husband mightily, you're going to have a whole lot of darts being thrown at you. You're going to have a whole lot of people who don't like you. You're going to have a whole lot of people who are betraying you. So you can use that as practice. You can say, okay, let me practice on her how I'm going to treat people like that. Hey, how you doing? And turn your head. And so what you do is you always take it where she doesn't have the power to harm me unless I give it to her. Because devils don't have power. Most of the time when we're dealing with unforgiveness is because we give that person a level of power. We feel like they do have power over us. We feel like if she keep doing that, I'm going to lose my job. If she keep doing this is what's going to happen to me. No, because at the end of the day, if that girl keeps doing something and you end up losing a job, guess what? God has something better in store for you. God has something great in store for you. So don't worry about her. Ignore her. But when it comes to your personal life, if there's somebody in your personal life, I believe in a rule of access. I believe that if there's somebody in my personal life that's constantly hurting me, if I'm constantly being distracted by them, I'm cutting them off. I'm gonna put distance between me and that person. That means that they don't have access to me to offend me. Like, I'm not gonna talk to them every day. They ain't coming to my house and I'm not coming to theirs. I'm going to put distance between them because they don't have the maturity to have that level of access to me. And so you want to just make sure that you're looking at it from a spiritual standpoint. And sometimes you have to hit that devil in the head. You have to sit back. Like, the devil will distract you with skin and teeth. You know, there's a person sitting there and they do stuff or what have you. The devil will distract you with that. But what you do is say, Satan, I see you. You don't talk to the person, but you can go behind the scenes and say, Satan, I see you. I see you working through her. I see you working through him. But I take authority over you. You have no right to me. I bind you in the name of Jesus. I call fire from heaven on you, devil. You have no right to me. I cut off your legs. I cut off your arm. I cut off all access that you have to me. I tear down whatever altar you have, whatever access you have to me. I call it null and void in Jesus' name. You begin to speak to that thing. Don't deal with this thing in the natural, because that's just a distraction. Hit it in the realm of the spirit again and again. And let me say this before I go on to the next question. When you hit it in the realm of the spirit, please understand that devils will respond. I promise you that. I've seen this one too many times. When you hit it in the realm of the spirit, the devil will respond. That means that if it's somebody, let's just say it's a neighbor or what have you. Sometimes the devil responds by the neighbor will leave you alone because the devil didn't realize that you saw him. And the devil didn't expect you to come hit him, because naturally we try to go after the person and not the demon wearing the costume. We like to attack the costume, but not the demon behind the costume. But if you start hitting it, or the neighbor may get a little bit crazier. If they get crazier, start acting crazy, understand that you have waken up, you have shaken the beehive, and I promise you, if you keep hitting it, it will fall. If you keep hitting it, it will fall. See, bees are vulnerable on the ground. They cannot live in a beehive that's on the ground. They are vulnerable there. So they don't want their hive on the ground. So you keep hitting that thing. That means if she go to barking, just go back home and say, you know what, Satan, I saw you. You know, I take authority over you in Jesus' name. I command, I shake you loose now. You come out of my life now. You loose my mind. You loose my family. Loose my neighbor. Loose them in the name of Jesus. And you begin to deal with that thing in the realm of the spirit. Always remember that your war is not against flesh and blood. It is not. I think as soon as we catch on to that, our lives will be changed. The war is not, and I have to remind myself all the time, because just like everybody else, I see skin and teeth. You know, the more God gives me a platform, the more God uses me, the more I deal with attacks. The more I have to deal with people doing direct things and indirect things. I have to deal with more shade than anything. But no matter what God does or God allows me to experience, I have to remind myself that if I'm going to go to the next level, if I'm going to go, if God is saying, I'm calling you to this level, I have to be prepared on this level. Because if I feel like clapping back every time, then when I'm telling God I can't handle this level here because I'm too busy fighting on this level. I'm too busy. He said, vengeance is mine. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes. Sometimes I'll be sitting up and I'm like, you know what? Let me handle this. Let me do this. You know, I'm a master of words. I'm a master of this. I know how to handle people, you know, in the carnal realm. But God is saying, no, deal with this in the spirit. Deal with this in the spirit. This is spiritual. This is not in the natural. So remind yourself of that. And understand this, you're going to have to remind yourself of that every day. The more God takes you up, the more God does with you, the more God blesses you, the more he graces you, the more he favors you, the more God extends his face to you, extends his arms to you. Whatever God does for you, you're going to have to deal with people. And if you keep taking it personal, I'll tell you what a brother in Christ told me some years ago when I was telling him about my ex's relative. He said to me, I told him that I got to the point where I hated her, and he said that means that you took your eyes off of the spirit and you put your eyes on the flesh. And he was like, that was one of the greatest tricks of the enemy right there. And it is, because I took my eyes, I got so tired of being attacked by that woman. I got so tired because I was just like, I'm not doing nothing to her. Like, what is her issue? What is her issue? Like, I'm not talking to her. I'm not talking about her. I'm living my life. What is her issue? Why is she just obsessed with, you know? And I had to come to understand, Tiffany, she ain't obsessed. That's the devil. That's a spirit. People, listen, human beings are not obsessed. That we can be obsessive, but most of the time when you see obsessive behavior, it's demonic. When somebody can't get you off of their mind, it's demonic. That means the devil has given them an assignment against you. It's demonic. Don't fight them, fight the spirit. Don't fight them, fight the spirit. God's got you, sis. Let me see. Question. So glad to see you on YouTube this evening from Evan. Thank you, thank you. Definitely will pray for you, sis. How do I have a positive mindset when a guy was texting me each morning a Bible verse and all of a sudden he stopped? We weren't dating, but I like the messages. There you go, right there. He found a weak spot. He found a weak spot. You have to get to the point, like, okay, as a single woman, and I want every single woman to hear this, you're supposed to be hiding. Every single woman needs to hear this. You're supposed to be hiding. I know we don't like to hide. I know we like the access. We like being pursued. We like being reminded that we still got it. You know, we love all that type of stuff. But sometimes you have to give all that up for the husband, for the greater good. Sometimes you got to give all that up. And the enemy will send people just to test. When that guy was texting you, that was just the enemy knocking. And you kept opening the door. And he's like, hey, how you doing? But maybe God in his sovereignty drew a line of demarcation and said you can't come in. But maybe God, because the Bible says submit yourself to God and resist the devil and he will flee from you. Maybe God dealt with him. Maybe God is saying that you're not his wife. So the only thing that he was doing was distracting you from your real man of God. You need to spend that time alone. I have to say that to every Christian woman, because Christian women don't know how to be alone. We want somebody calling us, texting us, taking us out. You gotta learn, guys. Hear me on this. You gotta learn to be alone. Listen. I know that it's hard for some people to listen to me because they look at it like I'm single. But go to some of these videos where women are married, and they'll tell you the same thing. I'm talking about the ones who got their God-approved husbands. I'm talking about the ones who are in ministry with their husbands, like Heather Lindsay. Ask people like that, and they'll tell you they had to go off into a season of being alone. And being alone means it's not just physically. That means mentally. I can't have somebody texting me. I can't have somebody. I know I'm interested in him, and it's like this guy makes me feel so good. He's a distraction. And God will remove all distractions, because there's a season where God wants your undivided attention. He wants to fill you up so that whenever the man of God does come, he doesn't have space. God has to make room for him in your heart. God has to make room for him, because you're so full in content with God that when that man comes in, there's no room for him to become your God. There's no room for him to become your idol. That's how God thinks. God is more so concerned about your relationship with him than you being in a relationship with somebody else. Because the thing is, a lot of times a lot of women are saying, hey, where's my husband? Well, I want this. But what God hears is the woman saying, where's my idol? I want another guy. Think about the people when Moses, the Israelites, when Moses went up on the mountain to commune with God, and he was gone for 40 days and 40 nights, and they started feeling like, well, I haven't heard from God in a while, and they had Aaron to build them a golden calf so that they can worship. Do you know that we're still doing that to this day? But we don't ask for golden calves. Most of us don't even know it's idolatry. We just sit back and we're like, I haven't heard from God. He hasn't sent a man of God. I ain't got a prophetic word in a long time. I ain't got this and I haven't got that. And so during that space of time, that idolatry that's in us begins to manifest itself. And we're just like, okay, where's the guy at? Where's somebody? Can I at least have a friend? Can I have somebody talking to me? And God says, no, I want you off alone. I'm going to keep you in the wilderness until that comes up out of you. I'm going to keep you in the wilderness until you get delivered from that. I'm going to keep you in the wilderness until you are content with me, until you can remember all the things that I've done for you. So don't worry about that. Keep your heart on Christ. And a man rejecting me or any person rejecting me is not a reflection of my character. It's not a reflection of my future. It's a reflection of the fact that they're not supposed to be in my life. That's all. I don't take that person. That person not supposed to be in my life. Doesn't make me feel unattractive. Doesn't make me feel like I think he just wants somebody that looks a certain way. I don't care. If that's what he wants, that's what he wants. He has the right to have his preference. But at the end of the day, I know that what is for me is for me. At the end of the day, I know that, God's not going to fail me. He won't fail you as well, sis. So you just got to keep that in your mind. You're most welcome. What's happened to the devil? I just got on WhatsApp probably about a few months ago. A friend of mine asked me to come on there so she could send me some pictures. And it's a blessing because like she came to the retreat, so she was able to send pictures and videos, and I've learned that I can send videos that are long, and that's blessed me. Because people be telling me, hey, send me the video of this, and I'm like, I can't, because my text messages always say the file is too large. So WhatsApp has blessed me in that retrospect, but I think I only have 3 people on my WhatsApp. I only have 3 people on my WhatsApp. I have her on my WhatsApp, and I don't know why she likes to use it to contact me. I be like, send me a text message unless you're sending pictures, but she loves it. She loves WhatsApp. But she sends me a lot of pictures, like when she's working on a project or something like that. She sends me pictures and videos and stuff like that from there. But yeah, I only have her, another friend of mine who, by the way, is rarely on WhatsApp, and and I got 3 friends on WhatsApp. I had somebody to instant message me on WhatsApp, and I still don't know how she got access, or I don't know, maybe they don't have to have your number, but I didn't respond because I don't know her. All right, did we have any more questions before I close? Let me get a show of hands. How many of you are going to register for Life University? Let me see a show of hands. Just give me a hand up in the comment section. How many of you are going to register for Life University? Hey, listen. Y'all smart. The ones y'all that just registered, y'all smart. That's what I'm talking about. Get in there before I change that price. I'm excited about working with y'all, for real. Get up in there before that thing goes up, because I'm about to start changing it in about 10 minutes as soon as I get off the video. Awesome. Thank you, Sister Brandy. Thank you, Smile Spice Chill. Your name. I know your name. It just. Thank you, Sister Erica. Thank you, Sister Lamanda. Thank you, Dee Dee. Yes, make sure you guys register for Life University. It's going to be life-changing. Thank you, Sister Yodi. That's the premise of Life University. It's about changing lives. The reason I wanted to do Life University, just to give you guys this little insight before I close out, was because I have so many inbox messages from people who say they want to change. They're saying, I'm tired of dealing with these systems. I'm tired of dealing with these cycles. I'm tired of dealing with this. That's the reason I launched Life University. Life University is really about changing lives. It's about getting people to a different point. So I put a price tag on it for my time, but I put a really low price tag on it because these coaches, they're charging $800. A friend of mine, they're charging $800 for this, but I put a small price tag on it. But you have to put a price tag on it. What is worth to you? What is it worth to you? If you decide that, hey, I can't do this stuff because I'm just gonna keep watching YouTube videos and stuff like that, then that's fine. That's the direction you decide to go in. But if you really want to see a change in your life, if you really want to see your life being twisted and turned around, if you want to see ascension, then hey, get up in there, get into some programs, get into some mentorships and some coaching. You got to apply this stuff to your life. You got to get in, and you have to be willing to make the sacrifice. I know a lot of times people feel like, well, why don't you just come on YouTube and just tell me, and don't do no registration fee? Is that not the kingdom? Listen, it's called sacrifice, baby girl. You can go out here and get it through a mode called experience. You can go and get it that way, or you can come into a class and a teacher, a mentor can give you something that's greater than experience. They can give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So I'm excited about it because we're going to have a message board. We're going to have a slumber party. We're going to come together and we are going to discuss some stuff. So I'm only taking 100 registrants for all of them. 100 registrants. Once I have 100 registrants for Life University, then I have to shut down the access. So make sure that you're registering. Don't sit back and just say, well, I'm going to wait till next week or 2 weeks from now, and then only wait till the last minute. And then you're trying to get in. And if you guys have followed me for a while, I'll probably try to let you in, but I'll be double the price by then. I'm like, well, we got no more registration So if I let you in, it's gonna have to be this. And that's to really break a mindset. So thank you for everybody that has registered. Thank you for everybody who intends to register. I'm looking forward to this, guys. I wanted to come out and talk to you personally. I tried to do it on Periscope. Periscope was giving me the blues as usual. So it wasn't showing up right. So I tried to do it on Periscope, but yeah, I decided to come on here. I tried to do it on Facebook too. YouTube as well. But I tried to do it while I was walking and it didn't. The video didn't come out really good. So yeah, I love y'all and we will talk soon. And yeah, y'all trying to see how to get out of here. Alright, I drew a blank. Anyhow, I love y'all. We'll talk soon. Listen, if you want to sow a seed, if you asked the question, you want to sow a seed into it, then yeah, more than likely. Yeah, sorry. Go to TiffanyBuckner.com. I'm still sleepy. I just got back yesterday from Virginia, from the I Do Marriage Retreat. I can't wait for that video to come out. I can't wait for that video to come out. It's going to blow your mind. So anyhow, I love y'all. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.